for sharing, Amanda. I want to take a few minutes now to introduce Ken Melrose. You've heard about the extraordinary gift from him, but I want to tell you a little bit more about him as a person. Ken is a native of Orlando, Florida. He graduated with honors from Princeton in 1962, where he majored in mathematics and electrical engineering. He was also a varsity track letterman for 3 years. He received a Master of Science degree from the Sloan School of Management at MIT, and later received his MBA from the University of Chicago. Ken joined the Toro Company in 1970, where he rose from being a director of marketing to CEO and chairman of the board. In 2006, he retired from the chairman position and formed Leading by Serving, whose mission is to advance the principles of servant leadership in organizations. Melrose is the author of Making the Grass Greener on Your Side, a CEO's journey to leading by serving. Christian Union values the examples of Christian leaders who are letting their faith influence them in their professional lives and who are, by virtue of how they lead and how they work, shaping culture in a positive way. Ken is one of those men. When Ken was at Toro, he asked himself the question, how would Jesus treat his customers? As a result of this reflection, Ken led Toro to change its approach to handling customers who had been injured by a Toro product. Instead of circling the wagons of lawyers to fight a case, Toro would immediately dispatch a paralegal to an injured customer to ask, what can we do to make this right? And then they made it right. As a result, Ken said lawsuits fell dramatically. Under Ken's leadership at Toro, 60 to 70 staff together and prayed each Wednesday for Toro and the needs of the staff. He would get an email each Wednesday with a list of prayer needs of employees, which he said would keep him grounded. Ken has other stories that would inspire you. He has a zest for life and a deep love for Christ. Please join me in welcoming Ken to the stage.
Thank you all very much. I just wanted to mention one thing before I start. Now you've been sitting for quite a while. We gave you a little rest of it. You may be thinking, well, I could get up quickly and have a drink of water or something else. I tell you, you've been in a lot of trouble. I got German Shepherd right up here. And he knows to get you. Actually, she went out to the bathroom. I'm going to talk to her when she gets ready. Well, I was going to say, before I thought I would say what I said, just now that I said it, I'm now on paragraph 2. Look at all the people. Look at all of you. It's amazing. I wasn't expecting this. It's just really great to have all of you here tonight. Now, it was in the late evening. I was sitting in Fine Hall doing my math homework. And a gentleman came up to me and said, are you Ken Melrose? I confessed, yes, I am. He said, well, I was to tell you to go home to your dorm right away and call your parents. I found a phone and I called home. My mother answered, crying, and she passed the phone to my dad, saying, she can't tell me. You tell me. My dad told me that both my brother, Bob, and his wife, Jamie, had died from a freak accident putting up a television antenna on their condominium roof on the University of Florida campus. The antenna had a high tension wire which electrocuted both of them. Bob and Jamie had just married after his tour of duty in the Navy on the ship the USS Borderline, circulating in the Mediterranean Sea to keep the Suez Canal open for oil shipments to the United States. While on the ship, sailors said to my brother, who was very outspoken and open about his faith. He asked the sailors if Bob would act as their chaplain, and would he give prayers and sermons. His Christian faith was very strong, and everybody on that ship say, sign me up. I want to come have a sermon, and I want to ask God's blessing and safety while we're in troubled waters. Then after the Navy, Bob started his planned career at the University of Florida, teaching history and English. Several Princeton friends and roommates attended his burial service at the Arlington National Cemetery, near the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. Later, oddly enough, as it turned out, both my parents now, Bob, Jamie, were all buried there next to my mother. Bob was a wonderful big brother to me in spite of our age difference. It didn't stop us from playing lots of tennis, double dating, especially playing bridge with our parents, who were both master players. He was a great model role for me. His love for Princeton and his Christian heart helped shape my career and my life. Some evening when I'm trying to sleep, I lay in bed, lights are out, it's very quiet, and I think of Bob, and I picture them all together, playing a few rubbers of bridge. Thank you again for coming tonight.
Ken Melrose was born September 20, 1933 in Jacksonville, Florida, the first of two sons to Dorothy and Henry Melrose. Longtime friends remember the Melrose family as intelligent and engaging, a family that emphasized education and giving back. In 1934, the Melrose family settled in Orlando. Although 7 years separated them, Ken and big brother Robert would become each other's biggest fans. Childhood friends remember that Robert, Bob to his family and close friends, had a brilliant mind, yet he was fun-loving. In high school, Robert was an academic standout and considered offers from 3 Ivy League institutions. He was accepted to Dartmouth and Yale, but was urged by a friend to consider Princeton instead. Robert eagerly enrolled in Princeton for the fall of 1950. At Princeton, Robert joined the track team and worked on the football coaching staff. He was a skilled debater in Whig Clio, a member of Dial Lodge, and active in the Student Christian Association. Concentrating in history and English, Robert earned an A for his senior thesis and graduated cum laude. Robert was just 20 in 1954 when he graduated and began his Navy tour. Ensign Melrose served on a naval destroyer, the USS Bordelon, where he was able to see much of the world. As part of the 6th Fleet, he found himself in the middle of the Suez Canal crisis. His 3-year tour provided rich materials for creative writing. Robert also grew in his love for the Lord and in the depth of his faith. He was asked to serve as ship chaplain along with his other duties. Following his tour, the now Lieutenant J.G. began graduate studies at the University of Florida. There, Robert met and fell in love with Jamie Ruth Jamerson. They married on June 11, 1958. After their honeymoon, the couple returned to Florida, Moving into a little house in Gainesville, Robert was now an assistant professor and planned to return to his beloved alma mater, Princeton, to teach. The entire Melrose family reunited during a semester break. Later, Mother Dorothy recalled how much her sons talked and laughed late into the night. Robert seemed to come especially closer to us, if that were possible. That was to be the last time the family would be together. A week later, at their small duplex near the University of Florida, Robert and Jamie were both killed in an accident on February 8, 1959. Robert was 25 years old. Jamie was just 21. The terrible news reached Ken at Princeton, where he was now a student. On his desk lay an encouraging note from Robert. In it, he had urged his little brother to read Psalm 121 before each exam. I lift up my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. Robert and Jamie, his bride of just 8 months, are buried in Arlington National Cemetery near the tomb of the unknown soldier. Along with them are Robert's mother Dorothy and his father Henry, a veteran of both World Wars. Ken saw a distinct pattern evident in his brother's life, a persistent faith and love for Jesus Christ. Ken saw an opportunity for Robert's life of faith to be multiplied many times over in the lives of current and future Princetonians by helping to establish a permanent home near campus for Christian leadership development. Robert's life reminds us how powerfully God can use us if we serve Him faithfully with the years He is pleased to give us.